Okay.
Thank you once again, Joshua, for accepting the invite to be here. So we're going to
Okay.
kickstart the session with the first question of tell us about yourself, your name, your stack. Are you a developer? Are you not a developer? What do you do? And how many years of experience you have doing it?
Okay. My name is Joshua, and I'm 25 years of age. I think I should. I'm from Kogi State. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I'm Igala. I tribe. I grew up in Sokoto. Yes, I grew up in Sokoto. Spent can I say, most of my life in Sokoto. But currently I based in a you know work. I had to like change location, and I'm a game developer, interaction designer, and also a 3D artist. Um,
So how many years experience have you had being a game developer, 3D artist? How long have you started?
my background in design per se basically started out as I didn't start out as a designer. I didn't even start out as a 3D developer or a 3D artist per se. Sorry, I
Okay.
didn't even start out. I started out as a photographer. Yes,
Wow.
I had this thing for pictures. I still do. I have this thing for pictures and videos. Yes, let me put it like that: pictures and also videos. I'm good with that. And I started out as a photographer. Well, I learned the basics and I was good. Well, I'm still good. And then, sometimes might you might want to do something because you like it and you picked up interest in it. But then sometimes also, your path changes. What
Yeah.
you want to do along the line, one or two, could be external circumstances, could be internal, and then
That's true.
things change. Yes. So, well, after being a photographer, I transitioned. That was when I transitioned into being a 2D artist. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started learning 3D far back as 2021.
Wow.
Yes. So I've had like, should I say, 4 years, 4 to 5 years experience in 3D. And while I was in 3D, that was when I thought to myself, what made me start game? What made me transition into game was, well, I've always liked playing games. I've always liked playing games,
Yeah, you
and
do look like a
well,
gamer.
yeah, obviously, obviously. So I like playing games, and then, well, I think I've not really thought about the back end, how the game is made, how things like that are made. How does the game even come together?
Yeah.
So I've not really, at some point, I didn't really thought about that. I was more of, enjoying how the game feels, how everything, the thrill of the game. So, well, I was opportuned to, like, stay with I don't know, I think I should call him an elder brother figure, like
Okay.
that. Yes. So I was opportuned to stay with him, you know, stay under his tutelage and stuff like that, where, he guides you. So there was a time he was like, you like games, you know, you like games. Yes, you love games, you play games. You do 3D also. You're also a 3D artist, you do 3D animation. And he was like, have you ever thought about, how he didn't really say much. He didn't really say much. He was just like, have you ever thought about how this game you are playing is made? You also know how to do 3D. Most of the games today are 3D, 3D
Yeah.
games. Have you thought about how these games are made? That was the question he asked me. And I was like, I didn't give him an answer there and there, but then that ran in my mind. That was ringing in my head. So I was like, well, some days later I went to him and then, that kind of, we're having some conversation and then he branched back to the question he asked me some days prior to that. And then I gave him an answer and then he said, I have not really thought about it, but, you know, you spoke about it and that's started ringing something in my head and I would like to want to know how things like that are made. Instead of being just a user, how about you become a developer, someone behind the game, how the game functions, how the game, you know. So he was not like, well, he didn't really ask me that question, to give him an answer, but just wanted me to
To think
try
about
something
it.
new and yes, think about it, expand your skill set and stuff like that. So that was it. And from then I started, I was already in 3D. So it was not like something new to me. So I just delved into how gaming works and then I think that's how it has been
So
since then. I've
how has
been
the experience been since you dive into gaming? Are you feeling like, oh, I should have just stick to my 3D, to my being a 3D animator, or should I have stick to videography, or like, you actually have an interesting background coming from somebody that loves snapping pictures, making videos,
yeah,
and start moving into animation, trying to see, oh, how movement things or other things
yeah,
work, and now diving into gaming. I'm like, okay, and each of these skill sets pays. So it's not like no, no,
yeah.
okay. So why okay, so why gaming? Why did you now dive into gaming developer and know like, oh, this is now the focus level I want people to know me as, like, oh, I'm a game developer. Why didn't you stick to videography or stick to 3D
Well, let me let me be frank. Let me be frank. Well,
animation?
obviously, if you ask most of people, yeah, some might lie. Some might lie. If you ask most of the techies around,
It
they'll
is
tell
actually
you they are
true.
doing yeah, they are doing tech for the some of them will say they are doing tech for passion. But I'll be frank with you. I got into tech for the money. Yes, for the money. I got into tech for the money. But though at first, yes, well, I was not technically a tech person. I was more of an artist, a 3D artist. I was just focusing on animated videos, animated visualizer, product visualization, and product renders like that. So I was not doing, building systems that run. So, well, after I talked to I had that talk with my person. I said, well, I started doing my research. Obviously, I knew that there's money in gaming, but then know that it's not easy. It's never easy. It's not because other gaming studios are making hefty money from it. Doesn't mean that oh, just start today. Yes,
Yeah.
you you be in the top 1% game developers who have been good. No, it doesn't work like that. But well, I did all my mental calculations. I sat down and did all the thinking and then know how I'm going to take on that journey. So I knew that there was money, but then I just kind of like paid myself, yes, and then well, basically I'm in tech for the money. But then along the way, obviously, I've grown to love it. I've grown to you know I've grown to kind of I have a passion for it now, if you ask me. So basically both are now working hand in hand.
So
But initially I came for the
okay,
money.
so let me now bring a little bit of twist. Let me say I bring a gaming project. It's a very cool gaming project. In fact, an interesting project. I believe like or users are going to dive into it. But I'm a founder that I'm just starting. I have nothing, and I want to bring you on board as a partner to the gaming platform. So I need you to build the interface and build everything. And when the money start coming in, then you're going to receive your payments. How would you respond to
Well,
that?
honestly, this question is taking me by surprise. Though it's not like I'm not expecting. I've not thought about scenarios like this. I've thought
Yeah.
about scenarios like this where you'll be expecting somebody to come and then give you pitch this kind of idea to you that, oh, whenever the game starts making money, you get probably an equity of shares or something.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. It depends. I'll say. You can't really know which project you know
It's gonna
will
work.
have yet, but then I think I'll make my research on what you're building because the house what you're building. I'll make my proper research on what you're building, see how if I can come on board in the long run, you know, things get, and I'll know if I'm to come on board or just.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that response. I know a lot of us from the initial this thing will turn it down. Like, wait, I'm not going to get paid
Yeah, okay.
because it's very very risky to trust the founder. Because a lot of them at the
Yeah,
end of the day they go back to their words when the project starts
yeah,
making money and they forget the fact that you started with them from like
yeah,
zero, from collecting zero funds and everything. So most times, even me, I won't even agree to that business proposal because I have had
yeah,
encounters of such business proposal, and I almost said yes to one, and I started asking some questions, and he was giving me a
yeah.
very shitty answer, and I'm like, oh no, like, so the way you say you're going to do your research, it's better to do a research and have a proper knowledge of because no
Oh,
matter
oh yeah,
e-skills, payment is required. I
yeah.
can't tell you that because you have passion for something, you shouldn't
Something.
expect reward from it. No. Are you going
Yeah.
to are you going to use passion to go to the market?
We
So
just,
yeah, so reward has to come, and passion is the one that just keeps you going even when the reward is not as forthcoming as
yeah.
you expect it to come. So my thought, I know you were not expecting that question, but when you said you had passion, I was like, okay, let me test. Let me test how passionate you are about gaming developer, and I really like your honest answer over there. So my third question
Yeah.
is: you went into videography, you went into 3D animation. So right now, I have a magic wand,
Yeah.
and I'm going to like whatever salary range you want for any of these skills, I'm going to grant it to you.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you like, say I want 5 million, my magic wand can grant that to you. So which particular skill set would you have put more effort in developing? Is it still the gaming being a gaming developer? Is it going into videography or being an animator? Which one would you have said, oh, okay, if you have I have a magic wand and I can grant you any salary. So you don't have to think about money now. It comes down to
Yeah.
your passion and it comes down to you. So which one would you have want to develop yourself
Well, is it possible if I can pick two?
more? Yeah, if you give a pick two, you have to tell me, oh, this is why I'm picking this two. Maybe both of them work in
Okay.
synergy with each other. And you're like, okay, I'm going to develop myself here and here because this helps me with that. So you can even pick the three, but
Yeah.
there's a catch. So the
Yeah.
but
That's okay. What's the catch?
so the catch is very easy. The catch is I want to know which one you will have be more focused.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the catch.
Um. Okay. That's the catch. Okay. Well, I can answer that. Well, if I'm to go back, well, 10 years back, 10 years back, and then give myself an advice on what or which of these skill set I should have chosen or focus more on. Well, I'm also a Rive animator. I don't know
Wow.
if I mentioned it. I'm also a Rive animator. So I use uh, obviously Rive is a new tool, so it's not that known in the tech
Okay.
world like that. It's not rampant, but well, I'm also a Rive animator, and then I use it to shape interfaces. Make your interface interactive. Respond to inputs, real-time data, APIs, and stuff like that. So, well, if I'm to go back 10 years and give myself an advice, well, I would have told myself, whatever you're doing in the future, make sure you learn game development and also be a Rive animator. When the
Wow.
train is early, you should hop on the Rive animator train. Yes, that one. I don't know why I keep hammering on the Rive, but well, it's good and well, it's changing. I don't know, should I say changing my life or making things easier? Or those two skill sets, I think I would advise myself more, or my 10-year-old self, right? Like
Yeah,
that.
your 10 year old self. Like your 10
So,
years
yeah,
old younger self.
yeah, 10 years old younger self. Yeah, I'll tell him, make sure you focus or get good in game development and then also drive and
So thank you. Thank you so much. I see why you say you wanted to pick two. So it's I
yeah,
from your response, I'm guessing that both work in hand already right now for you. So you can't
yeah,
you can't leave one for another,
yeah, like that one.
and that's so cool. I come across so many people that are data scientists, and they are like if I'm already now a data analyst, and I could
Yeah,
really like researching. So am I going to say I'm a researcher? Am I going to say I'm a data analyst? I said okay, find the one that is easier for people to rep with. You can say you're a data analyst, but along the line, add and pitch that, oh, okay, I also research. I also research on product. I like before I dive into the data
yeah,
analyst aspect of analyzing the
right.
data, I do a very, very deep research, and that alone can make you to stand out on your field as a data analyst, because a lot of people are data analysts, but you combining research shows that, oh, you going very, very deep. So I feel like this way, you should find a way to combine it into your mobile developer. So even if you say I'm a mobile developer, you say, oh,
Yeah,
I use this skill set to expand my horizon. So somebody will like, oh, you don't know how curious another person will be about you using that, and say, oh, can you still put it as a standalone? If I give you a project to as a wave, can you work with it? And be like,
yeah.
why not both of them work hand in hand? So
On the hand, yeah, yeah,
thank you so much for your honest reply over there. So my last question for today is, tell us, like, what was one, I know the question the very, very important person to you asked you, made you to start diving into, oh, I want to be a game developer. So now can you tell us
yeah,
about all your experience combined? What are like three, it can be 10, it can be more than 10, you might have 20 lessons to share. So what are the lessons that you say, oh, this is something that really, really, really helped me a lot to be focused, or really helped me a lot to go as far as I have gone so far, because I know and I believe like you still have a lot of milestones you have set for yourself to achieve, and by grace of God you're going to achieve everything. So as how far you have come right now, what will you say have been so many things that Joshua Ego, a very significant and very, very important game developer, and will make people want to like, oh, this is what makes you stand out. So
Well, for that question, I would, I would like to say The experience, obviously, the experience was not smooth. It's not smooth till now. I can't lie. It's still not smooth yet. Well, sometimes consistency breeds. Obviously, when you're consistent with something, you start to see results. Start to see
That's
results,
true.
even if, like I said, you know. So, well, uh, I don't know if am I supposed to give an advice or just share my experiences
And like
or the experiences of some of the
anyone you
experiences.
it's an advice, if you only put the share the experience in an advice format, say, oh, based on my experience, because it's actually an advice you're
Yeah.
giving out, but the advice now comes with level of your experience in it. I can't give you an
My ex-
advice.
my background
Exact, exactly.
is yeah. Well, I would from my experience, my years of experience, so both as a 3D artist, a game developer, also a Rive animator. So my advice or some mistakes I made while I started off was I was focusing more on learning. I'm not saying it's not good to learn, but you have to learn to be able to, carry out the or ship out real world products. You have
Yeah,
to learn. So I focus more on learning than doing what I was learning or taking action. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I was
yeah,
doing more
yeah,
of
you
learning.
are.
Yeah. So from my experience, that made me. I don't know. Obviously, everybody. I believe every creative we have was what they call an imposter syndrome. I think it's a universal thing. Yes. We all have this thing called imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
So, well, you know, since I was doing more of learning, I refused to put myself out there. Yes,
okay.
that I was doing more of learning. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to to get skill right. I wanted everything to look perfect before I start putting myself out there. And that's like one good mistake I made because I would advise anybody either whether getting into tech or whatever skill or whatever career path you are, you are in. This is 2025. Right? In the digital age.
Yeah,
You have to, yes, you have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there so that people can see you. You have to, even if you are learning, even if you're learning, you're supposed to, document your journey so that people get to see what you do or what you've been up to. So, from my experience, I'll say most people that are getting into this field or doing something related to one thing, I would advise them not to focus more on learning. I'll focus more on learning and building. I'll put it like that. Yes. While you're learning, you should be building or let the two go hand in hand. And while you're at it, make sure to document your process and put yourself out there. You might not necessarily get a job or get a gig while you are doing that learning, while in the learning process. But obviously, once you are good or when you're at a certain level and people, big or employers start to come. They don't have doubt to what you can do because well everything is out there. It's not hidden. You put yourself out there. Everybody know what you can do now, and
yeah.
it's no.
Okay. Hello,
So
sorry.
I'll advise. Okay,
Sorry, I
can you hear
couldn't
me?
hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I said so. I would advise people getting into my field or getting started in tech to build build in public, yes. Build in public. It's a very powerful thing. It change your life like that. That's my little advice I have. Shit.
I won't consider that little. I won't consider that little, but thank you so much. And I really really appreciate, and I'm really going to really applaud your honesty. You're really really very very honest developer. So thank you so much. And I like the fact that you're very
Thank
very
you very
open about your journey. So thanks for sharing it. And the key thing you said is true. Imposter syndrome. Everybody feels imposter syndrome or feeling like you're not good enough. No matter the years of experience
yeah.
they have at something, they
Yeah.
still feel like, oh, someone out there is better than me. I'm doing it greater than I
It's
am.
better than
So what's the chance that I'm going to make this work and they're not going to see that person before they like at least even notice me? But the way you said build in public and while learning, I believe learning and practice should go hand in hand, not just learning. Because a lot of us, as
yeah.
you said, this imposter syndrome makes us want to build perfection. Before we want to show somebody our work,
Yeah.
we want when you see it, you go, wow, like just go speechless immediately.
Yeah. Like that.
And feel like you're being blown away. And that's
Yeah.
I always at a point in time I had to tell myself you can't be perfect. Nothing is perfect. And I think that alone shaped a lot about me. It made me to now start having more courage to dive into some things, DM some people. Like
Yeah.
when I wanted to DM a
Yes,
founder,
like
I was
that.
like, this is a founder, tech genius. I have only had three people in tech genius talking to a founder.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have spoken to the guy before. We cool, but telling him about tech genius. Am I not going beyond? Like, am I not
Beyond,
stepping?
yeah.
Yeah, am I not stepping my boundary? He has already responded to my first message, and I want to send him this message. Abdullah, and I'm like, is he going to? I'm sorry, Imam Abu Bakar. And I'm like, is he going to reply me, or is he going to put me on read? And to my surprise, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is a very good initiative. He's interested. And for 5 minutes, I kept reading the message again, and I didn't know whether to say, oh, cool, when are you available, or to say, are you being serious
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah. Yeah. It starts to find it like that.
Exactly. I didn't know which one to reply. I just had to first say thank you, and when I know I'm
Yeah.
calm, I had to say, okay, please, when can we schedule the meeting? And when you even gave me the schedule, I wasn't still convinced. I was like, are you sure? Are you free? I was like, it can go wrong. When so most times
Yeah.
this
This could work.
imposter syndrome is making us feel like there's negativity in everything. It's just too good to be
Yeah.
true. When you get a job offer and somebody out there commend your work and say great work, and you feel like this person
Mm.
has more experience than I do, this person has been in the tech field for so long, you start to read the message a couple of times and say maybe they don't want me,
Yeah.
maybe they made a mistake, maybe I wasn't the one that like so as you said,
They meant to reply.
yeah, build in public, that's a very great advice. And while learning, practice also and let people even see your journey even not just for people, even for yourself. Because when you document things,
Yeah.
it helps you to fight against imposter syndrome because you're going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm good enough to do all this, then I think I'm good enough
Yeah.
for the upcoming task.
Anything.
Yeah, at least I've come this far. Like, I'm not that bad now.
Yeah. When you look back in your journey, you know that see how far you've come like that. You know
Yeah.
that oh yes, I didn't just start today and I can see progress.
So thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you for accepting the
Um,
invite and thank you for being here.
well,
So do you
I'm honored.
so do you have
Honestly, I'm very honored.
wow. So do you have any last word you would like to share with us?
So I'm not really like I said when I started. I'm not really much of a speaker like that, but
Yeah.
well, Um, it's also something I'm working on. Well, I just think I will just have to reiterate on what I said. It's very like what I said earlier, reading in public and you know um, documenting your process and everything. I don't know. It's a very maybe I don't know if it's a bad thing that I'm giving one advice, but
It's
for
not a
me,
bad thing.
it was one part of my journey that I neglected. I neglected being in public and putting myself out there, and so I wouldn't want others or people watching this have that or follow down that same path, that same mistake I made.
Wow, thank you very, very much. But most times when we make mistakes, we don't even want to talk about it because we are very, very ashamed. Like, oh, I should have done this better. So we don't even want somebody else to
Yeah,
make that mistake. We want to cover it up. And when they seek advice, we just say the incredible things we are doing. Be
yeah,
courageous, be confident. We're not going to give our mistake
yeah,
as an advice because if we give our mistake as an advice, it hit us hard that we're saying it. Like, it hit us so hard.
yeah.
Like, oh, and I know it's hitting you hard. Like, oh, I should have done more of this. So
Things
it's an
differently.
advice
Yeah,
for everyone, and I believe it's also an advice for you again to go back to the drawing board and say, oh, okay, how can I reflect this more into my work? So thank you
yeah.
so much.
Thank you very much.
So we have come to the end of this session, and we are really, really honored to have you here. Thank you once again for accepting the invite.
I feel very honored to receive an invite. Great things start small, and I know like so far the series is not where you want to envision it to be right now, but
Yeah.
I'm honored that I could be a part of the beginning because I'm sure in years coming, yes, in years coming, you know, would be a very big thing. It would not, it could, it be a very big thing. And I'll want to look back and be like, yes, yeah. I when it started, yes, I got an invite to share my story
Yeah.
when it started, and I'm glad I could and I did.
Thank you so much.